All right, welcome to the Totally VR podcast. I'm your host, Controser, with my two co hosts here.
Hi, it's me, Flat.
Yo, it's I, Zycu, once again.
Yes, and today we're going to be getting into some crazy VR topics. Mainly going to be discussing age verification, but also some new stuff that just came out this last couple weeks. Before
Woohoo!
we do that, I'd like to invite everyone to come join us in our community, and you can even listen to us talk live in our Discord on discord.gg/TVR. And you can also join our VRChat community to come hang out with us and play games in TVR.2006.
Yep, you
The
can join us through either
blog.
of
The
those.
plug. So, let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about age verification and its incorporation into VRChat. Which of you would like to give us a good start on this? Kind of
Well, I
explain what it's
can give
about.
my opinion first.
All right.
We should
I
talk about what it is first.
We should talk about
oh,
what it
you know
is
what?
first before we
Good
go into
idea. I
opinions.
was so ready to just throw everything out there.
Zyku, would you
All
like to
right,
discuss
so
first about what it
never
is?
mind. Yeah, Zaiku, explain it all to us.
All right, so age verification is a can be seen as a controversial feature that the game has implemented to allow the users to identify themselves as 18 plus. This comes with a third-party system that allows you to uh, connect to and share your credentials, your government credentials, to prove your age. So that way you can have a badge on your profile that signifies that you are 18 plus. The reason for this is because of the NSFW content that you may come across in lobbies, as well as, just spicy content in general. And the VRChat developers just kind of want to protect the community leaders in that sense. But it's been met with a lot of skepticism, which we're going to talk about opinions today here in our podcast.
Yeah.
That's a good explanation of it.
All right, Flat.
Yeah.
Why
All
do
right.
you feel about the age verification and why?
Well, I'm probably the least informed opinion here, but I do have opinions regarding it. So I actually really do not like age verification. I don't like putting my information anywhere online. Now, I used to not really care about this when I was much younger, but then I kind of realized like you have one government ID that basically you can use everywhere to identify who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you should really be handing that out to any company, unless it's with the government. So, me personally, I would never hand my ID out for just for a game, just to play a game. I don't really think it's really necessary. And, to VRChat's credit, you can still play VRChat without even using your ID, which is great because I'm never going to be handing it over to them. But I think
No,
it can be
yeah.
very easily sidestepped by the the target that it's trying to stop is kids. I think it can be sidestepped by kids. I think that most group instances that require it don't even bother to actually use it. They'll usually ask for your date of birth anyways, or just base it off of your voice. So overall, I am in staunch disagreement and hate for it.
Okay. What about you, Zyku? Where do you stand with age verification and why?
So I kind of take a rational approach to the situation. While I completely 100% get the idea that, sharing your credentials online is never just a good idea because the old saying, once it's uploaded forever. Anyone can have access to it, especially these third-party companies where you have a security breach and then next thing you know, you're getting an email like, hey, we were hacked. Your information's in some
Drag from
random dude's hands in
Arabia.
Russia. So yeah, that's always a concern. Um, I think what they're trying to do is a just cause. I understand exactly why they're doing it. There is a pedophile problem in VRChat. There's also a problem with kids catfishing adults. It's it goes both ways in that regards, and it's been seen countless times. Is a very, very real issue. And while it's not a perfect system, it's a young system. And with most young systems, they take time to adapt, grow, and become a actual functional system the way that it was envisioned to be. So it's going to take
Yeah.
time till we see that process actually be what it's supposed to be. Right now, it's definitely not going to be like that. We've all seen the memes of people using uh, what Mass Effect characters to
Oh,
pass the face
yeah.
scan. So
It's
I mean,
that at
it's a
Gary's
Norman
mom.
broken
Reedus.
system for sure. It's not perfect, but it is 100% necessary in my opinion. I think it is a very good idea to keep not verified people out of lobbies with NSFW content, mainly because I don't want kids to see, you know, explicit
Something they don't want to see.
graphics.
Or they
Something they're
Exactly.
not
do.
ready
They
Or
to
their
shouldn't
see.
parents don't
see.
want them to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And while I believe a huge portion of uh, kids' access to the internet should be dictated by their parents. That's not always a practical argument because parents have jobs, parents have things. A lot of times they give. Have you ever heard of the key kids or the keychain kids, where basically they're sent to school with a key and they come home at the end of the day, they get to unlock the door and they're trusted to be able to be
Oh
responsible
yeah.
and be in the house alone and not
I
burn
had
it down.
not heard of that
That was
term
big for me
before.
too, getting a key.
And so it's not a real practical solution or argument to say like, oh, the kids need to moderate their or sorry, the parents need to moderate their children better. Like it's not realistic. Let's be rational here. Adults have to make money to take care of their children, so it's
Yeah.
not always a realistic argument that I've heard in that regard. So I think that if you want access to these type of events, and I can tell you right now, there are numerous different groups that will lock their instances behind an age gate, and that age gate being the new VRChat age verification system. I don't think I think the only group that I'm in that doesn't do that is actually totally VR. Um, and so I think it's a necessary evil. I am in the same boat. I don't like giving up my credentials, but if it's going to allow me to go to these cool events that I enjoy, then I'm going to do it. And since it's not required, I don't think there's any reason to hate it because it's your choice.
No, and
That's a good angle on
I
it.
can definitely
That's
see
an
where you
interesting
come from
angle.
with that. The
All right, Contra,
reason,
what about you?
yeah.
Let's hear it.
So I lean more in the direction of where Flat is at. Not because I don't know a lot about the systems, but because I probably know too much about those kinds of systems. As someone who works in security and in cybersecurity specifically, I know a lot of vulnerabilities that these things can have. I know a lot of dangers that can exist within giving information, even small bits of information. Your ID, for an example, at least my ID, I don't know if it's the same in every state, but my ID has my address on it. It has my name on it, has my age on
Oh,
it.
mine too.
It's got my blood type on it. It's got my donor status. A lot of this isn't necessarily going to be super beneficial for someone who's trying to steal information. Addresses definitely are, and names definitely are, because these all can be used for scams and who knows what.
Date of birth too. That's a real big one.
Yeah, but the issue that I see is when you look at VRChat and you look at what VRChat says they're going to do with the data, it actually looks really good. Because they're like, oh, we're only going to take a hash. It's irreversible hash, and no one can do anything with it. And it's just for us so that we can know your date of birth. I can tell you now, if they can take this hash to know your date of birth, then it can be reversed.
Oh yeah,
Anytime that
because
they
it's
say
like, how
something,
can they figure it out, right?
anytime someone says this is irreversible, that's a lie. Because all it takes is enough time. When they call something irreversible, it's because computers would take years to be able to crack it without any prior knowledge of the system. If they just were
Right.
going straight ham in trying to figure it out by running it through code, it would take years. And that's why it's irreversible, because it takes so long. But that doesn't mean it can't be reversed. There's definitely ways for those things to be hacked and broken into and figured out, especially if they have a lot of data on it. you might get one hash. That would take you a long time. But if you have 100 of them and you're running them all through the same kind of programs and same kind of codes, you'll start to get key patterns out of multiple and then go, okay, that changes the way the hash works. So these are all kinds of things that we look at in the cybersecurity world when doing these kinds of things. And the other side of it is I didn't just read what VRChat does with the data. I read what Persona does with the data, who is the company in charge of actually doing the facial recognition and determining your age. And when you look at their personal data disclosure, they say it can be used for public information, so that anything public will be in the public. Service providers that they need to work with, that kind of stuff gets shared to it. Financial services and payment processing, whenever there's something with a bank transaction, they'll use your data for that. Affiliates, any affiliate of theirs can have access to the common data system.
Huh?
That's interesting, isn't it?
Wait, what? Wait, does that say that on
On
Persona's website?
Persona's How We Disclose Personal Data, affiliates, we enable access to personal data across our subsidiaries, affiliates, and related companies. For example, where we share common data systems or where access is needed to provide our services and operate our businesses. Basically, they're just saying we give access to the public data to the people who we feel might need it. They keep it very vague for a reason, because then they can do anything within that and be fine. Corporate transactions. Any corporate transaction, they can disclose personal data to include mergers, financing, acquisition, bankruptcy, dissolution, transfers, or sales of a business. Legal and law enforcement,
No,
that one makes sense. And then security, safety, and protecting rights.
but hold on, because on the blog post that VRChat made, what
Yeah,
they wrote for their Persona section, how will Persona use my data? It
yeah.
says Persona is obligated to only use your data to provide identity verification services for VRChat and is
Mm-hmm.
expressly prohibited from selling it, sharing it, or using it for another purpose. Does that mean like they're obligated to not do it, but they still can?
Well, that's the tricky part when you look at these kinds of things is
There's a lot of tricky wording.
there's a lot of tricky wording on purpose because that gives them legal gray areas. And this is true for every single TOS you read. I mean, you can probably look at the TOS for Facebook. I mean, a long time ago, Facebook added to their TOS that they could have your soul. And it was kind of a joke.
What?
It was a big joke, but it was in there for at least a couple of years before someone finally noticed it because no one reads through it. And they just wanted to see how long it would take.
That is hilarious.
So I, this is one of those conversations that's always, I wouldn't say irk me, but like kind of bothers me that people, to include UConn, is
Yeah.
likes to focus on something that has always been a problem for everything.
No, you're right.
And let me explain. So I understand the alarm for sharing your personal information. It's never a good feeling to know that your information is somewhere that it can just be yoinked at a moment's notice because someone is savvy and nerdy with a computer somewhere in the world and they're malicious.
True, those
Um,
filthy nerds.
but my thing is the whole argument falls apart when you think about, oh, when you mention like I'm not going to upload my information into some random database. Okay, so I say this because you do it all the time. All
No,
And
yeah.
for this one thing, it's not really different. It's just a different company. And granted, yeah, they might have less or more notoriety than other databases. For example, when you get your driver's license, what do you
Mm-hmm.
have to do? Give your name, your address, all that information you were talking about, your date of birth, whether or not you want to be a donor, uh, and
No, you're
That's what the
where that
absolutely right.
government
information
does?
goes
Aren't
on
you
a
in the
database.
It's a
And
government
have
thing,
you
but doesn't mean that they can't sell the data.
Why would the
exactly?
government?
And have you even looked into what they do with your data? But that's
No,
not.
brother.
But wait, there's more. When you go to apply for a to live at a
Apartment
house or an
complex or
apartment
yeah.
or anywhere, you have to do credit checks. You give up your social security number. Do you even know what credit organizations check your
Don't
social
you only give
security,
the last
your
4,
credit?
though? Do you have to give the full of your social? I thought you only give the last 4 for information
The
like that.
last four gives you a lot of information as long as you have the full name.
Uh,
Yeah, that is true.
yeah,
And
it
and
does
so
actually. Yes, it
yeah,
does actually.
and
I
I
and,
would
and
know
here's
from
the
insurance. Yes, it does.
I
and
100% see where you're coming from with this,
any
Zycu.
online transaction, credit card information, your
Yeah.
living address. Like this isn't an issue. I don't think this is an issue because we already give up our information on the regular. It's just something that they're putting. This is something that we're passionate about, so we're hyper focused on it now because now there's going to be lobbies we can't join. And I feel like whenever something like this pops up, it's a problem because it's something that we're passionate about. Like we love this game. Granted, there's some issues with it that I'm sure we all talk about sometimes, but like
Yeah.
when you put up a gate and it's doing something with your information, I don't feel like the argument of like, oh, my personal information for anything stands any ground whatsoever because it's already all over the place.
I
Even
see.
employers
No, no,
have your
no. You're
information.
absolutely right. And I see where you're coming from with a lot of this. But where I stand in this road is not, oh, I can't believe my personal information. Because, yes, you're right. My personal information has been given out in many different ways. You can figure out things about me if you look in the right places or know what to search. And that kind of stuff happens. But what I get at when I make these comments of this is what could be a problem, and when you do this, you're giving up these things, is because one, it's good to have knowledge and it's good to know what's being done with your information before you give it away.
Yeah.
Two, the more places you're willing to give your information up to, the more easily readily accessible your information
Oh,
becomes.
that's what I was thinking. That's what I was
Mhm.
thinking.
And
Because when you
I
get your
just
license, that's like the whole. You got like the whole stuff in one little picture. With
yeah,
when you
and
hand out
and
your
three,
license.
the other reason is within VRChat specifically, I know there's a lot of people, myself included, who are very focused on being anonymous. It's you
well,
come
that's just the internet
here,
culture.
that's internet culture,
Yeah.
yeah, and that culture is shifting rapidly. Governments are
Mhm.
looking at things, and I'm not going to get too much into politics, but governments are looking into multiple ways to separate your anonymity with your actual self on the internet and make it so you have to log in with your government ID or you have to prove who you are before you can even do things on the internet. Like in England, you
Mhm.
have to give your government ID so you can access websites like Pornhub. All these things are slowly shifting in that direction because big corporations, big governments, they want to know everything you're doing at all the times. And
Mhm.
the little battles we fight, such as giving our data to Persona for VRChat versus giving our data to get a government ID, all these small battles that we can fight and win slowly will build to the overall fight that we can potentially go down.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think we're moving. Don't go ahead.
no, no, no. I get. So, what I do want to mention though is while I definitely agree that how it's being done is not necessarily the best way, but it's right now the only way that's effective. I 100% believe that age verification is a good feature for VRChat. I think being able to sit there and say, no, this person is an adult, and you can make sure the people you are with are adults is wonderful, should be included if there's not a way to prevent children from accessing it, because it's definitely, as people here know, VRChat's full of a lot of mature themes and mature content. And it's very difficult to completely
Yeah.
avoid that mature content. So either
May
making VRChat only for adults, like an M-rated game, which what does that ever stop? Or adding a feature so that you can block certain instances and certain content from people under the age, I 100% believe should be done. I just think, and I don't know a better way to do it, but I think giving up your personal data to prove it is the sticking point for a lot of people.
Yeah,
Mhm.
see, I'm kind of like also thinking like that. Like, I don't know if VRChat should stay like a 14 plus game. And maybe this is like dumb of me, but I don't think we should do anything more than like when we're making our account, say what our age is. I think that should be plenty. Like when it says what's your date of birth when you're making the account, I think that should be it. I don't think there's anything else you should be forced to put in just to get access to everything.
Yeah, and let the system trust what you say and then be proven wrong after.
Yeah, because I feel like then it falls on the user's fault if like there's an issue. And maybe that's like too you know, damaging. Everyone's obviously kids are not going to write the right thing for date of birth. And
Oh,
maybe this goes back to the problem with it's the parents problem, but like as Zycu was kind of pointing out, like they can't really police everything kids do online. There's a lot of ways they can police what their kids do online, but the thing is a lot of parents are not really savvy about most technologies and
Oh
ways
yeah,
to police their online
kids are
activity, so
kids
they
are
don't know how to
super
use
smart.
yeah, like they don't know how to use every Windows feature like parental control feature. They don't even know how to use all that. So most of the time they're just going to give them the computer and say just try not to go on Pornhub or
so
something like that.
let me ask you this before, because I know we've been talking about this topic for a while now before we
I
get into
mean,
other
we're
things.
welcome to
But
talk about whatever you
um
like. It's all real.
so we have we have the system in place. Um, I completely understand the opposing views. I think we're moving towards a new internet culture where people are going to be exposed. They're not going to like feeling exposed on the internet, mainly because the internet's always been this place where you can be anybody and not have to worry about anything.
Yeah,
The whole mentality of like, oh, I can say whatever I want on the internet. And I think you should be able to say whatever you want on the internet as long as you're not threatening anyone's lives.
yeah, I
Um,
agree.
but
Me in the Counter-Strike lobby slinging slurs.
but I think there is a better way to go about it in today's time. For instance, I think the trust and safety team should have a more stronger presence in worlds, um, specifically like the group worlds and stuff like that,
Hey, that's a really
and
good idea.
kind of checking in and maybe a more manual process where if someone comes in to question if they're too young, like I don't know, bro, you sound like you're 12, like
That's a way
then
better
they're
idea.
carded, sort of
Yeah,
like if you go to a some sort of party bar and there's an usher and he's going to look at your ID, or if you go to the gas station and they want to see your ID before you buy booze, they're going to look at your ID. And I don't want to hear the argument it's not the same, because anyone can have a high definition camera behind them when they look at your
no,
ID, then
you're
boom,
right.
they got your info. So I don't want to hear that. But
Me with my
I think
McLovin
there's
ID. Yes,
definitely
I am 21.
that's kind of like where I would fall in the middle if I were to like choose the middle path. But
That's a
ultimately, I think
great
the
middle path.
argument and the little battles are futile because governments and corporations are in control of the internet, and not even safe, because at the end of the day, even if you're using a VPN, you can be uh, IP traced, and
There's tons of things you can do. Yeah.
there's no safety and no way to hide on the internet like some people think they can.
No, if you are
So,
connected to the internet is connected to you. That's just how
mhm.
connection works. You can't do it one way.
So
Um,
Zyku, what you're basically saying is we need an AI to come in and track what worlds you go to, and then if you're going to too many Five Nights at Freddy worlds, it's gonna ask you for an ID.
go YouTube
No, we don't
style.
need no clankers.
Yes, just like YouTube, we need an AI. We need a couple
No,
AIs
no.
to
Because that
come
works
in.
so well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
what is YouTube?
No, but
It's going
I
great
agree
over
with you, Zyku. I
there.
think your way of doing the system is much better. I think it should
It would
be
be
it trusts you
happy
when
middle.
you first put in your birth date, and that's all it
Mhm.
is. You are whatever your birth date states until there is enough suspicion and people flag you enough in game saying that you're underage or you're lying about your age or whatever they want to add to the trust and safety, and then have someone from trust and safety or VRChat system reach out to them saying, we don't believe you are the age you are. Please provide an ID as proof. But otherwise, not
Me,
ask people for the confirmation from a physical ID. Because right now, it's enforcing everyone must give up their privacy in this VR game just to be able to show that you're able to go to age verified stuff, which I think
gonna be
that's the problem.
me in the interrogation room with the age inspector.
Man,
Because when you think about it as well, like some people have their Steam linked to VRChat,
yeah,
and you can verify that your Steam account is well over 18 years old in today's
Oh
age.
yeah,
So
I'm
like
11 years
there's
old in my Steam account.
yeah, my
so
Steam
like
is pretty
there's
old as
ways to go
well.
about verifying people's age without actually needing
12.
verification.
My Steam is
Oh,
12
never
years
mind.
old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm 12. Never mind, I'm 12 too, actually.
Damn, we're almost old
One
enough
of
Yeah,
to
my
go
so
to high
12-year-old
school.
buddies.
well, I'm sure there's
We're old
people
enough
out
to go to
there, and
war.
I'm sure there's some way to do it outside of like
Oh, outside of using
showing your ID.
government documents, 100%. And I think that should be the direction that it's taken rather than going through the way it's currently going. Because
Steam
you
is using
can
credit
you
cards,
can
right?
always sit there and say
Prepay.
"Hey, Persona, delete the data." And Persona can say, "Okay, I'll do that." And then you never know what they do behind their doors, you know? And VRChat can say, "Oh, we don't access the rest of the data, just the date of births." But you can never know for sure. And the other problem that I run into when I look at these things, and I've seen this happen in multiple companies already, is that they'll sit there and say, "We will never use any bit of your data but this." And then you use the service because you trust them. And then a couple years go by, and next thing you know, oh, they've updated their terms of service. Well, that's fine. You accept it. We move on. But what you didn't realize is one word they changed in there. It says, "We will use your data however we want."
Yeah. Or they change out like their personal identity. We don't use personal identifying data, so we still
Mm-hmm.
use all the other data, just not the personal identifying data.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things that because the internet can now change. Because back in the day, when I was a kid, I can't speak for all of us, but I'm pretty sure I can speak for all of us. When I was a kid, you bought a video game, that was the video game. There was no updates, there was no changes done to it. If they fucked it up and it was buggy as hell, it was buggy as hell, and that's how it was for the rest of life. Nowadays, you can
Yeah.
buy something, it'll be buggy as hell at release because they know they can update it 20 times after that.
Well, yeah, because they want to get the money out now just to see if it's good, and if it's good, then they'll decide to fix it. If it's not good, well, we're not fixing it.
Yeah, Ika, that
We're
was
paying for
a
the idea.
yeah. Ika did make a comment here saying you could make it the personal responsibility of the parents to protect and educate kids instead of having people dox themselves to shitty corpos. Um, but that wouldn't happen. And I can agree with you, Ika. We did mention that earlier. Zyku definitely did. And yes, it is a responsibility of a parent to protect and educate their kids. But also, we can't expect parents to always 100% know what their kid is doing when connected to an internet because there's always workarounds, there's always ways to hide things and protect or prevent things. And parents are not always as tech savvy as people who grew up with the technology, like you and I did,
Yeah.
or as kids these days now. The kids these days know way more than I probably do when it comes to tech, which is
It's the
crazy because
parents
it's my
versus
job.
Google, brother. It's the parents versus Google. And
Yeah, so we
Uh,
can't
just to
100% put it on the parents, but
and just to reiterate what I was saying exactly is um, today's economy is really bad and compared
yeah,
to 10, 15 years ago. Um, so a lot of the times you have both parents working. All right. You
yeah,
send your kid to school with a key to get back in the house, but they're still working for 4 or 5 hours after their kid gets home from school. How do you expect them to actually be able to moderate their kids the way that you would like them to for these restrictions not to be put in place? It's
yeah.
not practical.
It's just a tough time, and we got to make sure that protections exist, but not overstep the protections of a parent. Let the parent take the majority, but also give them systems to help them prevent their kids from seeing things they shouldn't.
Mhm.
yep.
Now, I believe we've all given our opinions on the age verification. I appreciate both of you being so open in such a volatile field. I would like to discuss
Yeah.
some other things that have been going on. Zyku,
Oh, really? Like what?
Zyku, you came to both of us earlier this week, and I think it was this week, and you posted a link talking about the Index 2.
Yeah.
What was that about? Because I looked at
Explain
that and I
more.
didn't quite it looked like it was still a rumor, but they acted as if it was like
Um.
fact.
So it's not necessarily a rumor. It's more so of just some things that are moving in the space that can be seen. Um. So dang, you kind of catching me off guard. That's like 2 weeks ago, bro.
Yeah. Oh, 2 weeks. My
Um.
apologies.
So it was a YouTube video, and while yes, it was one of those videos that kind of is hyping things up for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, there was a little bit of information in there which kind of points to the Deckard being released in 2026. Uh, but outside that, I can't remember the exact details because it 90% of the video was just like
Bluff.
talking about other things.
Yeah, that's
And
fair.
so, but there was some information being passed around. Like I've encouraged people to go look into it for themselves, but uh, keep your eye out for an Index 2. Some information is coming down the pipe that it will be named Index 2 and that it will be a standalone headset and that we will be finding out more information towards the end of the year. But don't hold your breath on it because like it is potentially a rumor. I didn't see any credible sources. It was
Yeah.
just one of those clickbaity title things, and I was like, "Oh wow, look at this!" And then I like shared the link like 2 minutes into it because I was like, "Oh, that's exciting!" But
Oh, yeah. I was wondering how fast you had clicked it over, because as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, and then I did a Google search and found nothing, and I was like,
I don't
huh.
Clickbait
even think
gets
I
us again,
finished the video to be
Evan.
honest.
What the heck?
Yeah, because when I actually dug deeper into that video, he was saying that the release of the Index 2 was actually going to be Q4 2025, and that
Oh,
the rumor, or
Aren't
not the
we
rumors,
in
but the
Q4?
leaks. We are in Q4 2025. It's October to December. He said it was going to release before the end of December,
we'll see about that.
and I was like,
Yeah,
okay, we're halfway
just to let people
over.
know,
Yeah, go ahead.
it is from the YouTube channel V Reality. He's the title says Valve Index 2 is finally real. So
Yeah.
I can see why Contra was all like, "Oh wow, it's really here." Because I know Contra is waiting to get his hands on another
Oh my
headset.
god, yeah. It's big. It's between the big screen Beyond 2 and whatever Valve is working on, because right now my stuff is falling apart. Not my
Well,
VR
have you tried
headset, but
putting
my
it back together?
controllers. Yeah, I did, and it failed. Um, my left index controller right now, the stick has completely shattered, and all I have left is a nub. There's not even finger tracking left on it because the
Gross,
sensor also
bro.
ripped off. Um,
Dang.
yeah, so that one's in
Just buy a
disrepair.
new one
Yeah, just spend three
for
hundred dollars.
$104 billion.
Just spend $300 to get new controllers, which I've already done once. This is the second controller I've had that stick
It's like
break
150
on.
for each, right?
Yeah, but they don't have them individually anymore. You have to buy them together.
What?
I
Why?
tried. Yeah, it
Just
said they were
just
out of stock.
use Amazon.
For true, but then I might not get it as a brand new product and might have more issues.
Oh yeah, that's true. They're giving
Um,
Okay,
you from Alibaba.
so I did some digging,
yeah.
and
Oh,
so
info.
the sources that we're getting this information from is mainly coming from things like Games Radar Plus, which is somewhat reputable, um, Android Authority, and these are all discussing leaks about the Deckard that suggest that it is a Index 2. And
Oh.
so and so what we're seeing here is that there's evidence that Valve is working on the Index 2 and the leaks converge towards a standalone compatible device that may also support PC tethering. And so
What is PC tethering
people
again?
That means you have a cable
PC
connecting to a PC.
Oh,
Yeah. And so if they can support that, it'll be like a very serious competitor to Meta, because
Yeah.
right now Quest is king in the space. So
Yeah, the big issue is going
well,
to
at
be
least the one.
pricing, because if they can't compete pricing wise, then it's not going to do as well as Meta. But
Yeah.
the
Well,
leaked
Meta struck out with the other
specs.
price, didn't they? Their like other one was too expensive.
yeah, I mean the other one wasn't bad. It's
So
500 for the head. But go ahead, Zyko.
so the leaked specs are standalone wireless VR headset with PC VR streaming slash tethering support, which is coming from Digital Pamphlet.
Mm-hmm.
That's a commercial site. Um, Display resolution will be dual panels, of course, per eye,
I would hope so.
1440p. So it's a very similar high resolution. And then there's a leak that says that it'll support up to 2K LCD. So
Hmm.
that'll be not something that I would like, because I want OLD, or wait, what is it?
OLED, yeah.
OLED, the one where the blacks are
OLED
true blacks, because it is so much more immersive.
or
Versus if
mini
you walk into a
LED.
dark room, yeah, when you walk into a dark room and it's all gray, it's just like, oh. But
Yeah.
refresh rates looking up towards 120 hertz. Um, the rumors of the pancake optics are rampant. I think everyone's heard about the pancake optics.
Yeah,
Pancake optics? What the?
that's the name of the
So
lens
basically, the
type.
pancake,
But
and if you don't know what pancake optics are, flat, essentially this will reduce
Do I
the
have to bring
God
my own
rays in
syrup?
the, yes.
Okay.
But no, the syrup is a light reduction in like bleeding effects. So like if you ever are wearing the headset, and uh this kind of relates to your job. So like you know what it's called when somebody is looking at a light and they see like a stream of light off that light?
No, I don't know what that is.
like a
Tell me,
glare.
please. Oh, a
I-
glare.
It's
Oh, yeah, I know what
it's kind of
glare
like a
is.
glare. It's like a light beam from like a source of light that, but anyways, the current
That was a
headsets,
big
most
problem with the
headsets these
first
days.
index. I had
Yeah,
so much glare on the first index. That's why I returned it, because I was so sick of the glare. I didn't want to
I
put
thought it was
on.
because of the microphone.
The
I didn't want
pancake
to put on
lenses
like
fixes
AR
this
on it.
issue.
It does.
And it also fixes other optical issues that are created from having a screen behind a magnifying glass. So that's what the pancake lenses are going to do. But we'll find out more about that later, because as of right now, it's just kind of leaks and uh, patents that we've
Yeah.
been able to uncover. So the controllers are codenamed Roy, and they are very similar to the Meta controllers, but have the same functionality as the current day Index controllers.
Interesting.
Um, it'll run a modified version of Steam OS, and the price tag is looking around to be $1,200 for the full bundle, headset, controllers, and some games and demos. And you'll probably have to order the base station separately, since it's going to be shipped as a standalone, or they might come out with a 3.0 base station.
I am keeping my fingers
So,
crossed for a 3.0 base station, which is why I haven't bought new base stations, which is the other issue I'm
oh,
having, because I'm still running the 1.0s, and those
Oh,
things
how
are
your 1.0 still
dying.
function, brother.
I don't know how they still function, brother, because I'm sitting.
Mine give me the red beeps of death like once every like 5 months.
Oh, see, mine doesn't
I,
do that.
I don't know. I rock 3 of the 2.0s, and I still got tracking issues sometimes. So I
Yeah.
got my
Hey,
hat
hey,
in the
hey.
table for that
How
one.
old are yours? How old are yours, Zyku? How
Less
old are
than 2
those?
years old, each of them.
There's something wrong with, I think, the base stations I get, because like I've had to order like 3 new base stations from the exact same base or something. It keeps just blinking red, and I cannot fix it. That's like when it's like a hardware issue, and I don't know how to fix hardware issues. So like I
Hmm.
have to get another one, and it's done that like 3 times over the course of 2 years or something.
I guess I'm lucky in that regard, because I've had these base stations for probably 7 years now. Um,
Uh, Granted,
You
my
are
problems with
so
tracking is
lucky.
just with full body.
oh, that's fair. There's
Oh,
a
okay,
lot more
yeah.
things to track. I don't quite use that, so.
Yeah, me and Zycu both use full bodies, so.
Yeah, that would make sense. Now the
Where's
struggle
your
I'm running
legs, big
into,
boy?
I sold them. I sold them for more
Tried to sell them to
money.
me.
I
Dang,
did, and then I
bro.
ended
Tried
up
to sell
selling
them
it
to me.
on like VRChat's Discord or something, and someone bought them up immediately. But the issue I'm running into with these 1.0s is that I will be sitting there playing games like VRChat, and then the next thing I know, the entire world is flying away from me because it has lost tracking for my head, and my head has decided to launch up and to the right. And then I'll be sitting there minding my business playing the games, and my hands don't lose tracking like normal people's would, where they lose the tracking and the hand flies off. Instead,
It goes off to the corner.
yeah, instead of doing that, my hands become really offset. Like I can put my hands together in real life, and then in the game, you'll see one hand like a foot away from the other one. So that is the struggle that I'm running into with the base stations, is that I'm losing the ability to have consistent tracking. And with my whole world shifting, that really messes with my head, because you're not expecting your world to just jump 50 feet to the left out of nowhere and then come back.
So your
So there's actually a
headset doesn't
design
like
flaw.
turn gray or something? Like your vision doesn't like go gray? Because that's what
No,
mine does whenever it loses tracking of the head.
no, it doesn't.
So, and they have an explanation for that. So, you said you're using the 1.0s, right?
Yeah.
So the 1.0s, compared to the 2.0s, the 1.0s has a stationary plate inside that the infrared works off of, and this plate doesn't have very good motion tracking in terms of following something moving.
Yeah.
That's why it's significantly worse whenever you only have one 1.0 base station, compared to the 2.0 base station, where it has a rotating infrared sensor. And this rotating infrared sensor allows it to stop looking at something with the rotating one, while also having a stationary infrared sensor, and it's able to kind of predict where you're going based on the movement. And it's like it's like a redundancy check on where you're at happening inside the base station.
It's very
So
crazy
it does a
technology.
little bit better. Yeah, it's really interesting. Like the 2.0 base stations are a little noisy too.
Yeah.
Like you
They
turn it on and you
are,
just hear
but
it go.
they vibrate like crazy, man.
So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this Deckard, at least by next year, gets revealed, and maybe 3.0 base stations get revealed, so that I can finally look at upgrading to something better than what I got, because my stuff is falling apart and I'm just holding out, hoping that something better comes out before I need to upgrade. And it is a struggle.
Yep.
Anyways,
And
Yeah.
tomshardware.com, so take that for what you will, does
hey, I know
say
Tom's
that
Hardware.
the company plans to ship up to 600K units, or Valve does, uh, annually, and the upcoming Steam frame could launch before the end of the year.
Ooh,
But they
SteamOS
also go on to
needs to
say,
come out for the PC as well. Just saying.
mhm,
Where's my
mhm.
PC SteamOS? I need it so I can finally get away
So
from Windows.
it's
Real
one of those
though.
instances
Is
where a lot of
second they
people are
drop an
saying it's going to
OS,
come.
second Steam drops an OS, like I will sell my soul to Steam, brother. If they want my ID, I'll hand out every single one of them.
I will get on my hands and knees
Yeah,
and
and I
pull out my
will.
wallet.
I will hand them everything, bro. As long as they keep being good.
Yeah. Along with the Index 2, though, this last week, VRChat released a new feature, which is the VRChat shop. Now, they haven't done a lot with the shop yet. This is still a big work in progress. But basically, what they've done is taken all the things you can buy from from their in-game platform, like the Avatar Marketplace. There's no Avatar Marketplace now. Now it is the VRChat shop.
Hey, wait. So when you click avatars, it doesn't go to the shop first?
There still is the Explore tab, but I don't think it focuses the Explore tab anymore because they've got the shop button on the front of the menu.
Yeah, I've just been using my wings, so I haven't really needed to click my avatar section.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Oh,
Yes.
that's really
Yes.
funny.
The FOMO
So
has entered
Yes, the
VRChat.
FOMO has entered VRChat. You want to talk about that? Because I know that was the first thing you said to me when you first saw it.
So FOMO, what is it? It's the fear of missing out. So essentially, everything that VRChat's going to be. Oh, okay, let me back up a little bit. Some of the things that VRChat puts on the store is going to have a timer. And once this timer runs out, you will no longer be able to buy this item. And
what the heck? They stole
so,
that from Fortnite.
Yeah.
no, that Fortnite stole from someone else, I promise.
Oh,
But essentially, where you want, you're going to see people, your friends having all these cool items, and then they're going to be taken off the store, and then you're not going to be able to buy them. Uh, but they'll still have them and you'll never be able
that
to
is
acquire them.
evil.
This will scare you into not wanting to miss out on this cool opportunity to have the cool uh, thing that they're releasing
Little
seasonally
follower after
for
you.
some sort of. So essentially, if you want something, like you really think you might want something, you're gonna want to buy it because when everyone's pulling theirs out that they bought, you're just not gonna have it, and you'll be the weird guy without the cool
The
thing that
weird guy
everyone else
without the
has.
bubble blower.
So
Yeah, no bubble blower for
so my
you.
advice to you is don't be me and buy into every little thing
Get out
because
your
I
credit card.
I fear missing out on things like that because I think it's cool to have these little cool stuffs in game and be able to pull
Yeah.
them out and be like, I bought the thing, like the portal. The right now there is a custom portal that you can get. So when you drop a
Oh
portal,
yeah.
it'll have like a cool machine effect that'll open up the portal. It's
Oh,
super fucking cool. Oh, excuse my language, but
don't worry about
What
that.
the
there's a really
fuck?
there's a really cool I'm just that's how cool it is. Sentence enhancer. So if you don't buy this machine portal thing now, and I think what has less than 15-20 days left that you can buy it, uh, you will likely never be able to buy it again. So that's what this shop is introducing is the FOMO.
Which is concerning. It was one thing when
Yeah,
it's like,
it
oh, you can
actually
put
makes
up
my
your
stuff not
stuff
as
to
bad.
sell. It was another thing when VRChat's like, oh, hey, we made a thing for a week. Good luck.
I
That
think
makes
the
me
one thing,
wonder. Do you think
the
they'll
one
allow
thing
people to make custom content for like portals
that's
and
what I was about to
stuff?
say.
I
Okay.
So
hope so.
if we can allow our creators to put their own props on here and not put it behind a timer, I think it would be a really good thing for the community to give our creators a lot more that they can, or a better way to get small little things into the game that people want on their avatars.
Yes.
The only problem with that is it will create bloat because
That is
everyone's
true.
client will have to have these items.
Something that I would like to see, which I'm starting to see and is looking good, is items being something that, or inventory being something we can make. We haven't gotten to that point yet, but seeing the bubble blower and seeing the wand and all the other
Yeah, we
items that
spoke
they've
about
been
this,
creating,
I think.
The
if they
wand.
allow,
About
yeah, the magic wand that does the rainbow effect that they
Oh
released
yeah, yeah.
during the
The marshmallow and
July.
campfire.
Yeah, the marshmallow and the campfire, all these kinds of
one.
things. I want this to be available for public, and I want them to add um, the trust rating for it. The trust system that they have for avatars,
Oh,
where it's like very
to allow like
poor and good. I want them to add these to
Or
the
quest
items
item.
too. Yeah,
Quest item, PC item. Yeah, that'd be neat.
yeah, I want them to add this to the items too, because then I can sit there and put a gun that I make on there, and then use that gun on every single avatar I have without the worry of uploading it on every single avatar I make. I just have to make it once. And then
oh wait.
people can look at the gun if they want, or they can hide it. and it'll be hidden across all my avatars without them having to hide what I look like. And I can keep my avatar more optimized because it doesn't have a ton of different things spawning on it.
Yeah, but I just realized there is no way they're going to allow it to be open to everyone, because a big problem with VRChat was actually staying like monetized and be able to get money. So if they allow people to just create items like that, portal effects, stuff like that, and just allow them to post it on the market, then that is going to cut into a significant portion of their own money that they're making, whereas they control the marketplace and what they can put stuff on the marketplace, meaning only they're getting the money.
Well,
But if they
then,
allow other people to do it, then
well, yeah,
they're
well,
only going to get maybe a small, very small cut compared to what they would get by controlling the whole marketplace.
and then making
Actually, I have a
items.
caveat to that.
Yeah, go for it.
So this is actually something that's been a concern for the VRChat developers for a while. Is the VRChat developers have already voiced not wanting to be this like huge money lord. Unfortunately, since they sold out, I don't believe they have a say anymore. So there's a very real possibility what you're saying, Flat, will happen because we've already heard from Zuck himself that he
Oh
wants to turn VR into a money hellscape where you purchase
no!
land in VR to live on. Like
Don't
Yeah.
it's a
say that,
complete
bro. We are
mess.
not going
So
into meta. It's gonna be
no,
meta.
oh Flat, you're mistaken. VRChat is it's not owned by Meta, but it is funded by Meta.
No, brother.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
are not in
Meta
that
pays the
timeline.
developers rent. I'm telling you right now, like that is something that happens. Um,
It's such over.
so it is a very real possibility that the shareholders go, you need to make more money at some point. And so you could be absolutely right. It could be headed down that road of like they're going to try to keep that market closed off to only selling things, and it's not going to be something that people can upload on just because they have to meet the shareholders' intent
Yeah.
to keep that money. It's a
We're
very real
gonna
thing. I've seen a lot of like look at Discord. They're finally starting to cave to advertisers, but at least they're listening to us for now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
it's not
now.
too bad now.
Something I have noticed, this is a little off topic of what I was going at, but something that I had noticed with Meta is that you're seeing them doing eye tracking and facial tracking and stuff on their new headsets, right? That's awesome features. How are they doing it for so cheap? Because they're stealing the data from it. They're taking all the data of where you look. How long do you
Are they?
look? Do you
No
look other
way.
places?
They're
How
gonna put ads on the mirrors.
they
They
could
better not be putting ads in
absolutely,
the mirror.
what they could do is they could go to the world creators and sell them ad spaces and say, hey, we want to put an ad in this exact spot in your world, because they know that's the place most players look for long periods of time because they've been taking all this data from the headsets. This is the kind of future we live in where people can take this kind of information and go, that's exactly what I want. Now, I get what you're saying with the items Flat in that they could control the market. However, I also know VRChat doesn't create a lot of content. They've maybe created at most 20 worlds in their
Yeah, and if
game
they're
of
gonna do this
thousands
cycle
of
out thing
worlds,
every like
and they've only created
weeks,
so
they'll have
many avatars. A lot of the avatars now that are even the public avatars are community
a
made.
community.
So I
Yeah.
highly believe they will allow, as long as it doesn't go crazy limits, they will allow VRChat creators to put stuff into their marketplace in that spot. I don't know about portal effects. That might be a
That's
VRChat only, but items I'm sure eventually will come to the community.
that's exactly how the avatar shop works right now.
Yeah.
So, and the world shop. So essentially, you have to become verified with the VRChat developers. There's like a whole screening process, and once you're approved, they will allow you to make money off of your cells uh, that you upload into their system for sell.
As long as they
Of
make
course,
some too.
they're going to get of course there's going to be a royalty on it, but I think majority of the money goes to the creator. But they're going to make some cash off of it too. Not to mention, once you buy those V-Bucks, the money is in their pocket already.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of like Steam.
And
As soon as
even
you
if
put the
it's
money in
not
Steam,
in the
David's already spent it
store,
all. something.
Yeah, even if it's not in the store, I want them to give us access to creating tools and items and inventory stuff for ourselves so that I can make a gun. I don't have to sell the gun, but I can make a gun for myself that can be used on my avatars. And I think that would be a feature I want to see coming soon. It's not yet, but I want to see that. Even if it's
I
just
want to
VR
be
Chat
the
Plus.
I want to be the voice of faith here and just say, the developers are going to do everything they can to protect the foundation of what VRChat is. And maybe one day we will have the ability to upload our own props and share them with our friends. Um, but we'll see. I
Yeah.
understand if it's not something they're going to be able to do because they have people they have to appease,
Yep,
but it
very
would be
true.
nice.
But I'm keeping my fingers crossed for it as well because originally I would have said they're not going to do it because of the way the developers hadn't handled the game. But nowadays they have a team that really cares about the community, so I have high hopes.
Yeah.
I hope you're right, Contro.
Yeah, I thought you said hi ho for a second and not high hope. I hope, and I was like, man, we're going into
Hi
Disney with this
ho,
one.
Contro. Hi ho.
The other thing that they were talking
That
about,
song's
which
in my
is
head.
in the beta, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, everyone listening. You now have hi ho in your head. Um, The other thing that I was mentioning was warp effects. This is something that they're in the beta for. They haven't even released this into the shop yet. It's just on the beta platforms. But basically, it's whenever you join a world or leave a world, there's like a effect that happens around your avatar. Whether that's like they haven't released many yet. Right now, it's just cubes that kind of float around, and then you appear in the cubes, and the cubes go away, or the cubes show
Yeah,
up,
it
and then you
makes some
disappear, and
funny
the cubes go
sounds.
away. But it could eventually be things like your avatar turning into uh, the wireframe and then slowly vanishing, and then turning into a wireframe and then slowly revealing itself. Stuff like that, kind of like how Chill Out VR does with the worlds, but instead of it being the world doing it to you, it's your avatar doing it to everyone else.
Shut up and take my money.
What they
I'm
showed,
just kidding.
it kind of feels so like bad though. Like you could just put this on your avatar like
Yeah,
originally, and then whenever your avatar gets loaded up, it does it already.
I
So I
agree
feel
with
like this
you
is
on
just
that,
a thing. Yeah, that
but
they're
Not
just
the
like
exit effect.
not the exit effect. You are
yeah,
right.
you're right. There is no exit effect.
The reason I see high value in this as opposed to just putting it on my avatar is the same reason I see high value in the inventory as opposed to putting it on the avatar. Is now all these crazy effects you want to do could potentially be done through this menu so that it's only done once and it's not staying on your avatar and weighing your avatar down in the optimization field. Because
You know
optimization
what?
is a huge thing for me. What's up, Zyko?
I think there's
I
a
bet it is
really clever
weird.
way they can accommodate this because the only reason I can think that they wouldn't allow us to upload our own props or our own effects is because this stuff requires space. And granted, yeah, you can upload to your avatar and you're taking the space on your avatar and the performance on your avatar, but that still costs money,
Yeah,
and it'd be another incentive to buy VRC Plus. I think if they have like, hey, upload your own props to VRC Plus and then share them with your friends, I think that'd be a really good way to get people to buy into that, and that's what the shareholders really like.
Yeah, could
It's
be
like, how many
a VRC
subscriptions are you
Plus
selling?
thing. Yeah,
no, you're right.
that's actually a good idea though. Just keeping it to VRC Plus.
Yeah, that would be the direction I think would work best. Or do it like they do the VR chat or avatar favorites and make it so that you can upload X amount, but if you're a VR chat plus, you can upload even more.
X amount meaning one.
Well, either one or five or something like that. 5 items and then 5 effects when you load, and you get to choose between them. And then if you're VRChat Plus, you get 50 or infinite or whatever, kind of like with uploading your avatars, giving you more options and space. And then you can't share them if you're not VRChat Plus, but you can share them if you are. Things like that, I think, would be really beneficial for them to make money without having it be a big deficit on the creators. Well, I think that hit all of our main topics for today. So let's close this out by recommending some worlds, recommending some games, and then saying our goodbyes. before we do that, I do want to one more time invite everyone to come join us. You can watch us live and even send us comments into the chat as we are live streaming this, as you heard from Ika doing that. To do that, join
And
us on
chuckle on the
join us on the discord.gg/tvr, and you can actually come hang out with us and play games with us in our VRChat community with the VRChat group, which is tvr.2006. You can say it now.
where
do
we talk
things
about these things all
usually
the
daily.
time.
Yeah, we're always chatting and hanging out. So if you don't want to hear us just once every 2 weeks, you can hear us almost every day because we're always doing events.
Every freaking day, you get to hear Contro's beautiful voice
Why,
as he
thank
yaps
you.
about technology or Peak or Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, let's go. So, world recommendations. I will actually start us off because usually I throw it to one of you two. But
Okay.
the world I want to recommend that people go visit is called Bandits Barcade. I've taken the group to it a couple times, and it is a total retro blast and a ton of fun. It's basically you start out in this alleyway and you see some flashing lights off in the distance and you walk towards it, and then all of a sudden it's like a rainy day as well, and all of a sudden you're at this arcade that's also a bar, and it's got crazy lights, it's blasting some like retro music. You've got giant figurines of like Legend of Zelda and Crash Bandicoot, and you can see retro consoles in there, pizza that you can eat. They've got keyblades that you can swing around and hit people with. And the big thing that makes it stand out is they have working arcade games. Like they've got
Yeah, they got
Wordle
a
in
good
there,
time
they've
too.
got Flappy Bird in there, they've got Skee Ball, tons of different things you can do. It's really fun. My only gripe is the Quest version, which I don't have Quest, but we've run into this issue a few times. For the people who are Quest, there is the chance of them crashing every so often. So
It's
if
too epic for their headsets.
it's too epic for the
Yeah.
Quest.
I mean, an arcade and also a bar. Man, they need to make a name for that.
Yeah, it's called the Barcade.
Whoa,
Whoa.
that's
But it is
crazy.
very, very cool. So if you are Quest, I would say go check it out just to see it and experience it for a little bit, but you might crash when
But it's
doing
not
so.
stable.
It's not stable. But if you're not on Quest, I highly recommend hanging out there because it is a very cool vibe. What about you,
Yepers.
Zyku?
Double it and pass it to flat.
Double and give it to the next guy. Okay, I'll do
Dang.
mine. My game is a game that's entirely in Japanese,
It's
but
world
thankfully you
recommends.
can.
World recommendation.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
It's a
World.
game
That's
world.
exactly what I was gonna say. The world is like entirely in Japanese,
Ah,
but it's a game world. So the game world's called Bang Bean Ball, and it
wow.
is a kind of like, this is a weird comparison, but it's like Smash if you had guns. And let me explain what I mean by that. So when you get into a match, basically everyone has little guns, like, like Mega Man blasters,
Okay.
and you shoot people. And as you deal damage, their percentage goes up, and the higher their percentage, the more they can get knocked off. So there's a handful of
Ooh,
maps in it.
okay.
Yep. So a handful of maps, and over time, you just shoot people enough, and then they get launched off the map. There's physics objects in most of the maps that you can knock over. There's like a whole PC that you can knock down, like monitor, the keyboard, the whole desktop and stuff.
That's pretty
So
cool.
it's really fun. Yeah, it is very, very fun. It's entirely in Japanese though, so good luck finding what every button does, but if you do figure it out, it is a really fun party game.
Okay. That's a great recommendation. I remember you guys said you went
Um,
there once, but I'd sadly missed it.
yes, you missed it. It was so epic. We'll go there again, probably. Maybe this hanging night or
I was
something.
Ooh.
about to say that sounds a lot like the world that we went to at the last hanging night. That you could also
Whoa.
Listen.
participate by joining the TVR server with the numbers that I don't remember.
Whoa, Zycu plugging? What the?
What the hell? All right, Zyku, what about you? What's the world you recommend?
Yeah, why'd you make us wait? Why'd you double it and give it to the next guy?
Because this is a new game world that I found. courtesy of one of my friends I recently made. His name's Gakaru. Um, but he was I met him right before joining this world off of another friend who was in another group bouncing around different games. But anyways, the world is called Color Drop. I'm not sure if either of you have heard it, but we could definitely take our
Like in
people
Mario
there
Party?
sometime. No. So essentially, the world is it's a very simple game. All right. You get a platform with I want to say 20 by 20 squares, right? And the squares are all uh, different colors and it changes and there's different patterns. And the idea is the world has four giant monitors on each side of this grid that you're standing
Oh
on with all the
yes,
players
I
once the game
remember this
starts.
game.
And whatever the color on the monitor is, you all have to move to that color square or a series of squares. Sometimes they're all clumped together and you have like a nice little platform to sit on. Or sometimes it'll be complicated and it'll like checker all kinds of different colors. But essentially, you need to stand on the color that is shown on these monitors. And as the rounds or as each round goes on, you have less and less time to actually stand on the correct color. And if you don't stand on the
Oh.
correct color, you get dropped into the void, and you have essentially lost that game. And meanwhile, power ups will also spawn, and so you'll get these little cool effects that slow players down that are around you, and so they might not be able to make the color in time.
Ooh, that
And
sounds brutal.
it's a really interesting it's a really fun, interesting game, and I think it's something that we should probably take our people to at some point.
Yeah, we've been to it
Color
once
drop.
before, but I forgot to save it. It's a really fun game world for people that can actually see all colors of the spectrum really well.
They have
Yeah,
a
unlike
colorblind
flat.
mode.
Oh, really? That must be new.
Oh, they do?
I think so.
Well, we're gonna
And if
find
not, I
out.
completely imagined it.
If not,
Yeah, I
VRChat
remember
has
there
a
was last time I
colorblind
went there.
mode.
Yeah, but I don't want to select that. I'm gonna have to remember to turn it back off.
Man. Now, that was a really cool sounding world, and we'll definitely have to go there again. So if you want to come join us, you know where to go. We've already plugged it. Some games that we've been playing recently that we love, or just love in general. I'll start off because this game I haven't played it recently, but I did play it a lot when I first found it. One of my friends, uh, Celeb Sangha or Rainbow Dash, depending on where you're looking at him, he made or he brought me into this thing. Was like, you need to try this out, and basically let me stream it through him. It was called Ring of Pain. It's this card
Never
battler
heard of it.
game where you go into a room and there's a huge ring of cards that spawn in front of you. Some of them are monsters, some of them are treasures, some of them are uh, curses, some of them are potions, and you have stats that you have to keep track of. How much health you have, your damage that you do, your defense that you have, and the defense of the monsters, the attack of the monsters. And you're basically moving around this ring and either attacking things or dodging them and picking up treasures. And the more things you kill, the better off you might be, but you also take damage, so you got to keep this stuff in mind as you're going around and not running out of health before you can leave the room. And when you pick up treasures, you might get something like a speed dagger, which gives you extra speed and extra attack, but it deficits you in defense. And then you got to like balance your stats this way by picking up all this equipment that you might want and then working around to get to the end of each room, and then that transitions you further into the ring of the dungeon until you finally come to the final boss. And depending on your actions that you do, it can actually lead you to two different endings with two different boss fights if you can make it that far, because it's a really challenging game. It's a lot of fun. I had a blast doing it, and it's always random, so it's like a little roguelike. So if you
Um,
like managing stats and trying to figure out a way through some card battles, it's a good time.
Card battle games are always fun.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had one that I didn't have fun playing yet.
Hmm.
Which of you would like
Well,
to
speaking
recommend
of
next?
stats,
Yeah, go for it.
have you ever heard of 3D Aim Trainer?
I can confidently say that I have not heard of this.
What about you, Flat?
Of course I've heard of this, brother.
Okay. See, Flat over here is probably good at FPS games because he knows about 3D aim trainer. You are, however, Con, not just because you don't like FPS games, but also because you don't know what 3D aim trainer is probably why you're bad at them.
Must be.
All right.
Must be.
Oh,
All right.
it's true though.
So 3D aim trainer, what it is in the title, it's a aim trainer. It supports several games like Apex Legends, Counter-Strike 2, Call of Duty, Fortnite, Valorant, Overwatch, Rainbow Six Siege, PUBG, Escape from Tarkov. The list keeps going. So there's a way for you to go in this game and basically set up the environment to mimic what these games controls feel like, what it feels like to aim around in, and it gives you a very advanced targeting range for you to practice your trick shots, your flicking, if you're familiar with the terminology, basically different ways to fight in your games with different array of weapons. This game will allow you to do that in a way that's a little bit more intuitive versus just going into the game and practicing by just trial and error and playing. This will allow you to like fine tune how well you played and show you what your suggested sensitivity settings should be for your input method. I highly recommend it for any FPS heads out there. It's a super cool tool. It's free, by the way.
Yeah, it
So
is.
go ahead and fine tune your skills and get the 3D aim trainer. It's available on Steam. That's my recommend.
Oh yeah, Ring of Pain is
Yeah.
also available on Steam. I forgot to mention that. It might be on consoles
Well,
too.
we can move over to my game. So I played this game probably about 5 or 6 months ago, but it's one of those games to where the story is extremely complicated and you have to watch like 30 lore videos to fully understand it.
Yeah.
And it's called Signalis. It is a survival horror game, top down, kind of like older Resident Evils, but it is a game where you basically have this picture and you're trying to find this girl. And so you go to this mining colony. And that's pretty much the most of what I should share if you plan on playing it. Like I said, it's kind of old and it was really popular a good couple years ago. It's coming up on its 3rd-year anniversary, but it is a very,
Okay.
very wonderful survival horror game. And it's also one of those stories to where the first time you play it, you really don't understand a whole lot. So you have to play it a couple times to actually fully understand it. You know, your first playthrough is not really gonna make the same sense as your second playthrough or your third playthrough.
Those can be interesting.
Yeah, it is definitely one of my favorite survival horror games of all time, and I've played a buttload of survival horror games, but it's also one of those games where it's hard for me to play because the story is so good. I can't help but like cry when I play.
I mean, that's a
So
good sign though.
yeah, there's no sequel for it, unfortunately, and it kind of doesn't really need it because it really wraps itself up real nicely. But please do play this game. It is incredible.
Yeah, I think the way you describe Signalis is the way I describe Outer Wilds.
Yeah,
Like
I
to
was
a
I was gonna
T.
say it's kind of it's not exactly like Outer Wilds, and I
No,
know that for
yeah.
a fact.
Because
But
Outer
it's
Wilds is like you play it once and then you can't really
yeah, but
experience it the same way
it
again, but
one of those games to where like you understand everything gets a whole nother meaning on your second playthrough. Like
yeah,
things that are done or said, like you're like, wait a minute,
hold
I
up.
know the context of that now.
Yeah, that's really cool. I enjoy games that do both that and the what Outer Wilds does, where it's like a you once you've experienced it, it's like, oh man, I can't do that the same way again.
Yeah, you
Both of
really
those
can't
games,
play it again and have the same feeling.
yeah. When games do that kind of thing, it's like, man, this is a really well written game.
I'm waiting for the memory removal stuff to come in so I can play this
God,
shiz again.
right? Man, so many games I wish I could just go through blind again.
For real.
But yeah, I appreciate that recommendation. It sounds really cool, especially for those who are into the horror aspects.
Absolutely.
Horror games are always like phenomenal in my book. You gotta even the jump, like the little silly jump scare ones, they're just fun. Sometimes it's good to get that little adrenaline rush.
Heck yeah.
True.
It's my
Someone
favorite
just
genre,
recently
so
bought
horrors.
Repo for me, so I've been playing that a
They
little
got
bit.
what for you?
Repo.
Oh, that game.
Yeah, I haven't.
That's a party like horror game.
Yeah. I enjoy those though. Some of those are pretty fun. All right. Well, thank you all for staying with us and enjoying this wonderful podcast. It's been a blast having you here, especially those who are here live with us. We are doing this every 2 weeks, every Sunday, every other Sunday. So if you are listening to this live, we'll be back on November 2nd. Or if you'd like to join us live, we'll be here November 2nd. You can join us in our Discord at discord.gg/TVR. And if you are listening to it on podcast portals such as Spotify or Apple Podcasts or
Wait. You
yeah,
say September 2nd?
no, November 2nd.
I think you said November 2nd.
Okay.
No, I'm not time traveling.
Sorry.
I promise.
Okay. I'm just saying November
Oh,
2nd is so far away.
Yeah. September 2nd is so
Oh.
far away.
Yeah, we're not going back in time.
Yeah.
You're talking about locations to listen to.
Yeah, and locations to listen to it. If you're listening to it on Spotify or YouTube or Google or wherever you listen to your podcasts, you can find us in 2 weeks, which should be November 9th, if I'm remembering correctly. So,
I'm gonna fact check you right now.
yeah,
It's
fact check me
November
right
2nd.
now. Because this next week is
2
when
weeks from
this one is
now.
releasing, which should be the 26th.
Oh,
And then the second,
yeah,
we'll
it
be
is.
recording the next episode. And then the
Yeah,
next
yeah. And
episode
then
for
the
people.
9th. Yeah.
The 9th. So,
So
yeah.
true, bestie.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, as well. I hope you'll have a wonderful day wherever you are listening to this.
I think that I will see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Have a good one.